The man accidentally knocked over the chessboard on the table. The chairman told him not to worry about it, but the man, relying solely on his memory, placed the scattered pieces back in their original positions. After finishing his phone call, the chairman saw this and looked puzzled. He quickly opened a book to compare the chess positions, finding it astonishing. He then called his secretary over to take a look at the board, before scattering the pieces again and asking him to restore them. The secretary smiled and said, "If I had that ability, would I be working as a secretary?" The next day, the chairman summoned Chang Jiang to his office and deliberately scrambled the chessboard in front of him. To the chairman's astonishment, Chang Jiang swiftly restored it to its original state. Witnessing this, the chairman couldn't help but feel intrigued. Such a prodigious talent, yet he willingly served as his daughter's private driver. In truth, Chang Yang had been known as a prodigy since high school. During a national math competition, Ma Yongjae, the clear favorite, was already preparing for interviews when the unknown Chang Yang unexpectedly claimed first place. From that moment, all eyes turned to Chang Yang. While Ma Yongjae rejoiced for his friend, he felt profound guilt over failing his father's expectations. Ultimately, he chose to leave this world. Consumed by remorse and self-blame, Chang Yang held himself responsible for his best friend's death. He abandoned his studies to fulfill Ma Yongjae's dream of becoming a boxer. After running away from home for 10 years, he lost contact with his mother. Now, having tracked her down, she blamed him for their family's crippling debt caused by his disappearance. Chang Yang knelt, begging for forgiveness, but she demanded 10 million won to settle the debt. But Chang Yang, who normally had no interest in money, had no choice but to approach Su Jin's father. He secured an advance on his wages and became Su Jin's personal driver. So every day, he was responsible for picking up and dropping off Su Jin. However, Su Jin was deeply displeased to learn that Chang Yang had asked her father for such a large sum. She constantly looked for opportunities to get rid of him. When Chang Yang finally tracked her down, Su Jin ordered a rich playboy to teach him a lesson. Thinking she'd shaken him off, she tried to leave, but the playboy wasn't about to let her go. Su Jin slapped him across the face. Enraged, he shoved her into his car. With no other options, Su Jin screamed Chang Yang's name. He swiftly took down both men and rushed to the parking lot. The rich kid stripped down ready for a fight, only to be knocked down with a single punch. This incident changed Su Jin's view of Chang Yang. After dropping her off, Chang Yang received a call from the gym manager. A student had been hospitalized after an injury. The doctor had dismissed it as just a nosebleed from a ruptured blood vessel. But Chang Yang observed the blood's viscosity and color. He told the doctor it might be bleeding from a skull fracture. The skeptical doctor scoffed at his lack of knowledge. Another doctor nearby offered to re-examine the patient. They took a CT scan and discovered it was indeed a skull fracture. The next day, Chang Yang accompanied Su Jin to the school library. But the spoiled rich girl couldn't muster any interest in studying. After writing just 2 characters, she couldn't resist picking up her phone to play games, even asking Chang Yang to help find materials. Seeing books she once read voraciously, memories of her dear friend came flooding back. Su Jin realized Chang Yang had been gone for ages. When she found him, he was completely absorbed in a book, so she sat quietly nearby, waiting. When Chang Yang snapped back to reality, Su Jin had waited all morning. Curious, she picked up the book to look, only to find it was entirely in English, utterly incomprehensible. Upon exiting the library, they spotted someone harassing Su Jin. Chang Yang stepped in to restrain the man, only to recognize him as yesterday's doctor, Kaian Wu. After clearing up the misunderstanding, Kaian Wu learned Chang Yang was a boxer and mistakenly assumed he'd graduated from medical school. Chang Yang said nothing. When Chang Yang submitted Su Jin's thesis, he noticed numerous errors and couldn't resist correcting them. The next day, the professor singled out Su Jin's paper for praise. Completely bewildered, she opened it to discover Chang Yang's revisions. Her curiosity piqued, she confronted him about it. Chang Yang claimed he'd copied the answers, but Su Jin insisted he find the reference book in the library. Frustrated, Chang Jiang pretended to search but unexpectedly discovered a book. He then asked Su Jin if she knew where the Snow Queen lived. Chang Jiang said few people knew, and it was a little girl 8 years ago who had told him. Only then did Su Jin realize that Chang Jiang was the big brother she had waited for all those years.